I'm gonna do a walk around on my 97 F-250. I've got the hood popped so we can look under there, but say a few things about the truck. Like I said, I've had it 8.5 years. I hadn't done really anything to it. The tires are probably 6 years old. But it's been a great truck, and I've put 5,000 miles a year on it, so you can tell I don't drive it very much. I have pulled a tractor or trailer with a tractor on it a couple different times. There's one spot on it, a nick. Paint's in great shape. It's clear coated. I think there's another little one. This is right here. It's in great shape. Drives good, shifts good. Just an old 7.3. I love these old body styles. I'm not a mechanic. I bought this truck because I always love the body style when they come out. And so I bought it and had it for 8.5 years. A couple things I've done on it recently. I took it to a local diesel shop for them to kind of check it out because it had an oil leak, a little small oil leak, and I'll talk about that in a second. And whenever I'd crank it up here recently, the oil leak started recently, and I say recently, in the last 6 months, and it wasn't bad at all, but I would crank it up and it would lope. I would call lope, just kind of lunge. And when I took it to the shop, they're the gurus around here, but they said it was the transmission shift switcher or something. I'll have to show it to you. But anyway, that corrected the loping problem. They also said that might want to change out the calipers because these trucks were famous for sticking, and they wasn't sticking. So I changed them out, but I kept the calipers, and you can see the wear on the brakes. So I kept them to keep it original. They work just fine. But I wanted whoever gets this truck to have a good truck, and I didn't want them to stick, even though they haven't stuck on me. So I wanted to keep those original calipers in case the buyer wants them. Anyway, that's the bed. The truck has been used, but it's in great shape, in my opinion. Excellent shape. Got a fifth wheel. The only cosmetic issue on it, and it's been this way since I had it, was that dent there, and it's not creased, and I don't know how it happened, but it's been that way ever since I had it, and you really can't see it until you get at an angle. But it's got a custom bumper on it from the dealership, and I have all the paperwork. I'm the third owner, and it was bought in Carlsbad, New Mexico. I guess the guy left and went to Texas at some point. Traded it in there at the dealership, and the guy that I bought it from, he bought it from the dealership. I have service records on it when they had it serviced. And I have all of that, and what I've done, which not much, what I'm telling you is what I've done. Well, it's locked on me, sorry about that. Let me see. Probably 5 years ago, Skyjacker is local here where I live. And I took it up there, and they replaced all the shocks, front and back, and I added a leaf for the front to pick it up, to level it out. My driveway is sloping a little bit, so you can't tell. But you can tell from the pictures the stance it has. And then the 7.3, I did not, all I've done is sprayed it off. I didn't wash it, shine it up. This is what, and I've got the cowling for it. I just took it off so y'all can see it. I did replace the glow plug relay. Like I said, I'm a shade tree mechanic. I don't get very deep in these things. I just did the cold start, but you can see it, and I can crank it back up. But the alternator, I just had rebuilt. I didn't want to put a new alternator on it. I wanted the original, because I think it's better. He rebuilt the alternator and put it back on. The local guy did. The oil leak, and I didn't know anything about these things, but it's on a high pressure rail, which is that deal there. Anyway, it's a plug in the end of it. I probably should have had my ladder so I could show you better, but anyway, there's a plug in the end of it. Maybe you can see it down in there. It looks new. That they replaced, maybe not. anyway, you guys that know a lot more about these things than I do, because I don't know anything about a diesel. I just liked the truck when I bought it. Replaced that, had the oil leak. The mechanic shop replaced that, put the transmission range switch on it. That, solved the loping problem. I don't have any issues with the truck. A couple things that I do know is the front and rear gauges work, everything's fine, but I do know that when you get on the front tank, when you get between a quarter and empty, it run out of fuel on me one time when I first got it. And I talked to a friend of mine that knows a lot about these trucks. He said the pickup tube is probably broke off the end on that front tank. So anyway, it will run out of fuel if you get, and the gauge works, so it's not the gauge being wrong, between empty and a quarter of a tank on the front tank. It's got that little, you'll see it in the pictures. I'll have to unlock it to go over there, but anyway, there's a little nick in the dash. Other than that, it's in great shape. That pigtail there, the guy I bought it from had a fuel cell in the back of the truck, and he had it on a toggle switch, but I put it on this, and I've used it once, and the fuel tank's not in the truck, but that's what that's for. It's got a little pump on there that's bolted to the frame. Got a crack in the windshield. I decided not to replace that. Also, you probably can see my sticker is out by 2 years. I don't drive it very much, and when I do, I might go to church in it and realize my inspection sticker's out. And now that I've decided to sell it, I'm not going to replace the sticker, so I don't plan on driving it any. And a lot of pictures I'm going to take and show more. I believe I've hit everything that I know. Underneath it is like new. It's never been down a muddy gravel road that I know of. But anyway, I want to shoot this video to try to show the truck to the best of my ability. Oh yeah, I had the PCM rebuilt. I had it, the shop that kept it, or that done the oil leak, fixed the oil leak in the transmission switch. I said, look, see if there's any codes on the truck. Well, anyway, long story short, they couldn't read it with their scanner. They kept it 2 weeks and couldn't figure out why they couldn't read it. Checked everything, all the sensors, whatever. So I brought it home. I'm not a mechanic, but I do have a son-in-law that has one of these. But his transmission's tore up, and I told him to bring his PCM. So he brought it up here, and I had a friend that had a scanner. He could read his computer plugged up to my truck, so that told me there was the communication piece was out in my PCM. Sent it off to a place in Chattanooga, Diesel Chat, that I think they're kind of pretty well known for, rebuilding these PCMs, especially in these trucks. They know a lot about these trucks. That's why I sent it to them. Anyway, sent it to them. Sure enough, they confirmed that. I didn't realize, I wanted to know if they had any codes, and the guy told me, well, now that you've unplugged it, it cleared all the codes. So, it run fine. That was what was weird about the truck. It run the truck fine, but you couldn't communicate with the PCM. So anyway, did that. So the PCM is rebuilt, and it was just the communication side of the PCM. So it's a great truck. It's going to make somebody a wonderful truck. It has for me. It's time to move on and sell it. It's kind of bittersweet. My grandkids don't want me to sell it because they think it's cool. And I think it's cool too, because you're going to look high and low to find a truck in this shape, as good a shape as it is. Anyway, look forward to answering any of you guys' questions as it gets online. So thank you.